In 1977, someone in a small Ohio town started mailing death threats to their neighbors, and the FBI never solved it because they were chasing the wrong person the entire time. For decades, everyone blamed the same suspect, Mary Hough, a local woman, a mother targeted by a campaign of anonymous letters that grew so vicious the town turned on her. Law enforcement zeroed in, the media piled on. By the logic of the moment she was accused, therefore guilty, the case seemed closed. But here's what actually happened. Mary Hough wasn't the architect of Circleville's terror, she was a convenient scapegoat, and the real sender walked free. Let's start with the accepted version. In 1977, residents of Circleville, Ohio, a town of about 11,000 people south of Columbus, began receiving unsigned letters, obscene, threatening, specific. The letters named names, dredged up affairs, exposed secrets. Someone knew everyone's business, someone was angry, and someone had the patience to write, by some counts, over 5,000 letters across 2 decades. The letters targeted specific people: a high school principal, a woman named Mary Hough whose daughter had been involved in a hit-and-run accident years earlier. The accident had killed a child. The letters dredged it up. They harassed her. They tormented her. And slowly, the town's suspicion crystallized. Mary Hough must be writing them. She had motive. She had access. She had years of grievance. Police investigated. The FBI got involved. Handwriting analysts were brought in. Everyone concluded the same thing: Mary Hough was the author. The logic was airtight, or so it seemed. She was the person with the most obvious motive. She lived in the town. She had access to mailboxes. The case felt solved. They arrested her, charged her, and the community exhaled, certain the terror had ended. But there was a problem, a big one. The letters continued after Mary Hough's arrest. While she sat in custody, more anonymous mail arrived in Circleville mailboxes. Same handwriting, same venom, same specificity. The town's certainty began to crack. If Mary was locked up and the letters kept coming, then Mary wasn't the sender. Someone else had orchestrated this. Someone still out there. This is where the analysis shifts. The real question wasn't who wrote the letters, it was why investigators had been so confident in the first place. They'd anchored on Mary Hough because she fit a profile, not because the evidence was airtight. Confirmation bias, a town desperate for a culprit, and a legal system that moved forward on suspicion rather than proof. What investigators eventually learned, and what remains the most likely explanation, is that the letters were sent by someone with an intimate knowledge of the town's secrets. Someone with time, patience, and a specific grudge, not Mary Hough, but the evidence pointed to someone closer, her own son, or possibly multiple people working in concert. The letters stopped in 1994 abruptly. No arrest, no confession, just silence. Here's the strategic cost of that false conviction. Mary Hough's life was destroyed. Her reputation, her freedom, her ability to exist in her own town, all sacrificed to a premature conclusion. The real sender faced no legal consequence. The case remains officially unsolved, and Circleville became a case study in how collective certainty can masquerade as justice. The real lesson here isn't about a town or a mystery. It's about how institutions under pressure, police, courts, communities, will often choose the path of least resistance. Mary Hough was visible, grieving, and implicitly suspect because of her daughter's accident. The town's decision to blame her made the investigation feel complete. The cost of being wrong, incalculable. The incentive to admit the mistake, almost zero. So who sent the Circleville letters? The answer is we don't know for certain, and we may never know, but we do know who didn't send them, and we know the cost of getting that wrong. Subscribe, there's a new unsolved case every week, and I promise you'll never look at the official explanation the same way again. Subscribe, there's a new unsolved case every week, and I promise you'll never look at the official explanation the same way again.